Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with the Millennial. I'm the Millennial Javeda Bay, and this is my bed, and it's still anal August, which means I'm still talking all things backdoor. And today I specifically want to talk about a part of the body that does not get enough attention during anal August, though I feel that it should. And you might be wondering, Javeda, what is it? It's the prostate. So let's get into it. Javeda, why does the prostate matter during anal August? Heck, what is the prostate? I am so glad that you asked. The prostate is an organ that's a part of the male reproductive system. And so it's about a walnut sized organ that sits between the bladder and like the actual like anus. But it works to produce seminal fluid, which is a part of the fluid that comes out during ejaculation. And it also helps to make ejaculation happen. So it's a pretty important part of the body. But more importantly, it is known as like the male G spot, also referred to as the P spot. But it is an organ that also experiences pleasure from stimulation, sexual pleasure from stimulation, while also still having like reproductive function in the sense of creating seminal fluid. Jave, why does it matter during anal August? Well, it matters because one, you can stimulate the prostate during anal play. And so it should be included in this conversation. Two, a good portion of the population has a prostate, and a lot of people don't actually know that it can provide pleasure and can be stimulated sexually with a partner or by yourself. So when we're talking about anal August, including talking about the prostate, in my opinion, is very important because it provides pleasure. So why would you not include it in the conversation when we're talking about anal pleasure? Duh. So let's dive a little deeper, shall we? When it comes to the prostate, it can be stimulated two types of ways. You can stimulate it externally, meaning you don't have to penetrate the anus, or internally, which does require penetration of the anus. If you are someone that is new to the prostate, I always recommend starting out with just external stimulation, because anal training is involved if you're trying to do internal stimulation. But if you've never seen or felt a prostate for the most part, what you're going to do is you're going to want to go and find the space in between like the ball sack and the scrotum. So like the perineum, the taint in that space. If you are massaging it, you will start to feel like a harder portion, and that is going to be the prostate. And so when you're stimulating externally, you're just massaging it from the outside. When it comes to internal stimulation, your fingers are actually entering into the anus, and then you're kind of doing like the come hither motion to go like forward. So that way you can find the prostate internally. So two different ways of stimulating it. And you might be like, why would somebody want to stimulate that, Jave? Well, because again, lots of nerve endings in the anus in general, but also in the prostate, it can experience pleasure. So by stimulating it, you are creating a new sensation for your partner or yourself, which for a lot of people, novelty is something that we are looking for when it comes to sex because it's very easy to fall into a routine. Also, there have been some studies that have shown like correlation between like prostate stimulation and the lower chances of prostate cancer. So, as I always say, save a life, play with a prostate. But also, prostate stimulation is really popular, especially if you happen to be more kinky in terms of milking. So, you can do prostate milking, which is like extended stimulation of the prostate to get to the point of ejaculation, aka the milking. So lots of different ways to engage with the prostate. But why I think that more people should like pay attention to it. One, what is pleasure if we're not exploring all the avenues of pleasure possible to us? And the prostate is one of them. Two, again, that whole thing of like it could potentially lower the chances of prostate cancer, which is, very important in my opinion. Three, we should be talking about all body parts in the same way that we do. And so if we're saying that the prostate is the male G spot, why are we not giving it as much attention as we give the female G spot? Now, when it comes to actually stimulating the prostate, there's a lot of different ways to do it. As I said, you can do it internally or externally, meaning you can just do it digitally, or there are toys that are made to stimulate the prostate. And if you're like, oh, I could be interested in toys, I have a video about that. So like go and watch the Toy Talk episode that is talking all about prostate toys. The prostate is honestly a truly like interesting organ in my personal opinion, and I find it extremely fascinating because it has like multifunction in the sense of like playing a role in male reproduction, but also sitting there and being like, hey, I'm just here for pleasure if I want to be. So I think that the prostate is really cool and more people should know about it. And if you agree, then you should share this video with someone that does not know a lot about the prostate. But it's also important to know that the prostate is an organ that should be paid attention to medically. So that way, if something were to happen and you were experiencing something, you would know the difference and would be able to talk to your doctor, which is why it's important for prostate stimulation. So that way, you're recognizing on your body or on your partners if there's any changes happening with their prostate. Because as you get older, prostate enlargement can happen, and that can be a sign of a few different things. So, continual stimulation and activity with the prostate can keep you more abreast of these things, if you will, than just waiting for your annual doctor's appointment where you go in, you bend over, the doctor puts in their finger and they say cough. Like, you know? So, another reason why I encourage people to explore prostate stimulation. But yeah, if you want to learn more about the prostate, drop your questions in the comments. I will also be dropping a blog article later this week to dive a little bit deeper into the topic. And make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel because, hello, why would you want to miss great sex ed content? And definitely make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms because I share different content on all the platforms. And lastly, definitely make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter because everybody on there learns everything first. So why would you want to be the last to know the good stuff, you know? But yeah, that's that. Until next time, I'm gonna see y'all later. Deuces.